What's up, people? I'm very excited today. Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording. Start again.
Hey, people, I'm very excited today. My relatives from Florida, from my father's brother, came here today for a trip, and I don't know if you noticed, but they kind of got me some Yu-Gi-Oh packs. And I am completely fanboying all over the place. I've gotten Dark Crisis. I've gotten like 3 vintage packs, 3 structure deck packs, and 1 vintage, which is this thing right here. This thing, see? And I'm gonna spend this video showing you all the cards I've gotten. I haven't seen them yet. Once, I haven't seen them yet. And I thought you'd want to see it. So the first thing is the OG. Oh, mine. Just skipping right to that. This is my first card pack opening. I don't know what to expect. First card pack from Dark Crisis. See? So the card I have, my first card is Morale Boost. I have this already. Despair from the Dark. I have this too. Level 8. Battle Scarred. I also have this. Okay, this is kind of turning into a disappointment. Arsenal Robber. This is a new one. For me, at least. Your opponent selects one. Oh, that's a little bit cheeky. This one's a cheeky card. And then Guardian Bow. If this card can only be normal summoned, flip summoned, or special summoned, when there's a Wicked Breaking Flameburge Bow on your side of the field. Each time this card destroys one of your opponent's monsters sent to the graveyard as a result of battle, increase the attack of this card by 1,000 points. Also, the effects of an effect monster that this card destroys as a result of battle are negated. Not that good unless you have like equipped spell cards added to him. So otherwise then he'll be pretty overpowered. Drag down into the grave, spell card. You and your opponent look at each other's hands, select one from each other's hand, and discard them to the graveyard, and each draw one card. Oh. I can see how this card could be a little bit obnoxious. But that is a very comical looking drawing. Okay, I got Outstanding Dog Marin, and this card just goes straight back to the extra deck, straight back into the deck after it's been sent to the graveyard. But only once it's been on the field. Or add to the deck and shuffle it. So basically it's... This card lives forever. Non-spell casting area. All face-up monster cards except for effect monsters are unaffected. Okay. There's a Rod of Silence Kaiest in the field. On your side of the field. This card is unaffected by spell cards. Also, this card cannot be an attack target of your opponent's monsters. In other words, this card is a little bit OP. Alright. That is the first deck of cards. Oh, this slid right off. Oh dear. Second pack. Invasion of Chaos. I'm hoping for a ritual monster in this. Alright, let's see what we got here. Gigantes is Earth, Rock type monster. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card can only be special summoned by removing one Earth monster from your graveyard. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, destroy all spelling trap cards on the field. Only useful if you have Gaia the Fierce Knight. in your graveyard. Gora, Turtle of Illusion. Aqua, level 4. Negate the effect of spell and trap cards controlled by your opponent that targets his face-up card on the field. Okay. Very interesting one here. We got Jade Insect, which is a spell card. It allows you to add an insect-type monster to your field from your deck to your hand. Multiplication of the Ants. I have this card too. I can tribute one insect-type monster on the field and summon 2 ant tokens. Fortunately, I don't have those. Mataza the Zapper. This one's OG, like OP. This card can attack twice during the battle phase. And if you have like Mage Power or Black Pendant, cards like that, this card would be a little bit overpowered. On top of that, it can, well, control of this card cannot be swapped. Salvage, add 2 water monsters. Oh, okay. Sifheed, Fairy Effect, Wind. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. Can only be special summoned by removing one wind-type monster from your graveyard. And if this card's been destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, the opponent must discard 1 random card from his or her hand. Now there's Recycle. During your standby phase, by paying 300 life points, select 1 non-monster in your graveyard and return it to the bottom of your deck. Oh, wait. Non-monster card. Well, that's one way of doing it. If you had cards like Jar of Avarice, Pot of Greed, or Reshuffle or Magical Mallet, this would be one handy card. Skull Mark. This is the last one. When this card is sent to the graveyard, increase your life points by 1,000 points. This is a good card. It's very effective. Look at that. Okay, so that's 18 cards that we've opened. On to the big leagues. I'm keeping these, like the wraps for these, because, well, I'm never going to find anything like this in quite some time. As you can see, there is some form of Xyz type monster here. This, I believe, is a ritual monster. I don't have any higher hopes for this. Cipher in Triangular. Oh. Okay. Well, I've got some good ones. Cipher in Triangular. Light Spellcaster type monster, level 1. Oh man, look at this thing. Look at this guy. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 1 Cipher Xyz monster you control it. Okay. Well, I didn't get that from this card. Cyber Prima, I have this one. If this card is tributed, destroy all face-up spell cards on the field. Not that good, but also pretty OP if you're dueling someone with spell cards only. Oh. Ooh. Red Wyvern is a Synchro type monster. It's Dragon type too, and it's level 6. 1 tuner, 1 or more non-tuner monsters. During either player's turn, if a monster with higher attack than this Synchro summon card is on the field, you can destroy 1 face-up monster in the field that has the highest attack. Your choice if you're tied. Can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. In other words, it's an AoE card that allows you to destroy any higher ranking card. It's pretty OP. Red Garna and Red Mirror. Garna monsters are like big shield fellows, like this guy. They're always shield-based monsters, so they have different abilities. This card can only be activated if during another player's turn. Yeah, only if Red Dragon Archfiend is on the field. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and this turn, my monsters cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Pretty OP. And then there's Red Mirror, which is as red as it gets. The fire isn't as red as that. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can spend this card. Okay, so that's all of them. Now, onto the main course. I also got something known as, oh yeah, thanks. I got something known as Cyberse monsters, and the new form of, how do I say this properly? There are a lot of spin-off versions in Yu-Gi-Oh! They've made different types of card types. They've made ritual monsters, fusion monsters, synchro, Xyz, pendulum, and now they're making these. This is a Link monster. See these red arrows here? Link monsters like that can be used, if you have two monsters here, you can summon these two and put them in these markers. You can send them straight to the graveyard and summon this bugger right here. Once you do, then these two markers can be added to the next Link monster you're using for a Link summon. And see these requirements? You can only summon these Link monsters when they're on the field. It's a bit much, all things considered. But these cards have their own unique effects. Just so we're clear, this is a Link monster. Do not mix this up for a ritual monster. It will look the same, but this has a darker hue of blue, and look at that data mine here. Also, the unique effect about these monster cards is that there's no attack or defense. This thing cannot be set in defense mode. It's immediately in attack position. And the Link, it shows no level or rank. So it's pretty overpowered. This is one of 3 of the monsters I've got. Land, foreign, just if any of you can pronounce this, please let me know. I've got Flame Buffalo. All of these are first edition. I'm starting to think these are like super edition ones. I've got a lot of those. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can target one Cyberse monster on the field. Well, you can discard one Cyberse monster, and if you do, draw 2 cards. You can only activate this bugger's effect once per turn. This guy is pretty overpowered if you have a Cyberse infused deck. I also have some Cyberse monsters in my current, other decks, but not as many as this. Lady Debug. If this card is a normal or special summoned, you can add one level 3 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. That's pretty overpowered. Look at how strong this one is. Wow. And there's a Datacorn. If this card is special summon, you can special summon a Datacorn token. I think token monsters can be used for this. See? You can use these to summon that powerhouse I saw earlier. 1200 attack, but not that good, I guess. You can target Garbage Collector, level 2, Wind. That's a lot of defense. Huh. You can target one other Cyberse monster you control that began the duel in the main deck. Return it to the hand, and if you do, special summon from your deck one Cyberse monster with the same level, but with a different name. Jesus, this thing is OP. You can summon Cyberse Wizard with this, and personally, I think that's the best monster in the whole structure deck. Antillion. And wow. Okay. An Antillion. Once per turn, if this card battles a monster this battle phase, you can quick effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one Cyberse monster. If this face-up card you control leaves the field, but because of an opponent's card effect, I can draw 1 card. Holy crap, this thing is good. Wow. Storm Cipher. Cannot attack directly or attack monsters in the extra zone. Monster zone. Unaffected by monster effects activated in the extra monster zone. Cannot be destroyed by battle with monsters. Extra monster. So basically, I'm looking at a double-edged sword. This thing cannot attack directly, nor can it be destroyed by monsters in the extra monster zone, which we will be getting to in a bit. Cyber's Gadget. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard. Special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated. If this card is sent from field to the graveyard, you can special summon one gadget token. You can only use this card's effect once per turn. Ooh, this one looks terrifying. Juragedo. It's a fiend type monster, the first one that's not Cybers. During either player's battle step, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, gain 1,000 life points. Wow. You can only use this effect of this monster effect once per turn. Quick effect, you can tribute this card, then target one face-up monster you control, gains 1,000 attack points until the end phase. Okay, this thing is a little bit overpowered. Look at this. Dang, this guy's OP. There are roughly 40 cards in here, I think. Or 30, I'm not sure. Oh, crap. Okay. Mecha Phantom Beast Tetherwolf. Oh yeah, Mecha Phantom Beast monsters are a little bit overpowered. And when I say a little bit overpowered, I mean really overpowered. They're used for Xyz, for an Xyz deck for Phantom Beast, and those things are a little bit overpowered, like way too overpowered. If this card is a normal summon, special summon one Mecha Phantom Beast token, level 3 wind type monster machine, onto the field. This card's level is increased by the total level of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Once per battle, during the damage step when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can tribute one token, and then this card gains 800 attack points until the end of this turn. And you can even tell this thing is a wolf. Just look at the head. Smashing. Reborn Tengu. Bear in mind, all of these cards are like level 4. There are very few like level 6 monsters, I think. Beast Warrior, Reborn Tengu. Interesting fellow. If this face-up card leaves this field, special summon one Reborn Tengu from your deck. Oh, there's 2 of them. See? Oh, there's a new one. Skullmeister. When a card is activated in your opponent's graveyard, this quick effect will activate. You can send this card from the hand into your graveyard and negate that effect. Oh, Goblinberg. Yeah, that's pretty good. And Goblinberg is a very interesting one. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. Also, that card, and after that, this card's changed straight into defense mode. So yeah, this thing is a little bit OP. You can just blow through this. This is an amazing structure deck. I've been waiting to get this card. So overpowered, especially with this current setup. Wow, how many cards? Jesus. Phantom Skyblaster is a fiend type monster. I already know the effect of this one. You're able to summon like 3 Skyblaster tokens, and for every Skyblaster token on the field, including this monster, it can inflict 300 points of effect damage onto the field against your opponent. Oh, actually any number of Skyblaster tokens. That makes this fellow a little bit overpowered. Oh ho! I've got tuner monsters. Gen X Alley Birdman. Okay, I don't know much about those fellows, but you usually get like Ally of Justice monsters. You can return one face-up monster you control to the hand, special summon this card from your hand, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, it gains 500 attack points if the return monster was wind on the field. It looks like Birdman Jr., but he got one hell of an upgrade. Alright, everyone knows what this one is. This is Effect Wheeler. And, ooh. Okay, Effect Wheeler has a very interesting effect. It's a hand trap card. Basically, you can activate it from your hand. During your opponent's main phase, which is a quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Then target one effect monster your opponent controls and negate that monster's effect until the end of this turn. Meaning that this is an AoE card and you can use this. As long as it's in your hand, you can just completely screw your opponent over. It's like a complete middle finger against them. It's an amazing card. Then there's Magical Merchant. I know what this card does too. It's a flip effect. But basically, this card allows you to excavate your card from the top deck, and you keep searching until you get a spell or a trap card. If it's a monster card, it goes straight to the graveyard. This card works specifically for Lightsworn monsters and I think Skull King deck, the Skull Servant deck. This card is a godsend in those instances, because I don't know if you noticed, but Skull King gains 1,000 attack points for every Skull Servant monster in the graveyard, meaning that it gains 1,000 attack points for each one. So if you were to send all 3 of those cards to the graveyard, then this card gains 3,000 attack points. But that's not enough. White monsters are considered Skull Servant monsters in the graveyard. And if that's not overpowered enough, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish one Skull Servant monster in said graveyard and special summon said Skull King. Even Skull King himself is considered a Skull Servant in the graveyard. Cosmic Compass. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a number of to the number of monsters your opponent controls. So meaning you can summon as many tokens of this wonderful little fella against your opponent based on how many your opponent controls. I don't even know what this thing is. It has no mouth, it has no face. It's kind of creepy. Oh, another Cypress monster, finally. Launcher Commander. Oh, this one's from the very first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns. I've been watching it. I've been trying to catch up. 108 episodes is a lot, but they end at 129, I think. All of the Cypress monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can tribute one Cypress monster and then target one face-up monster your opponent controls and destroy it. That's this wonderful fellow right here. That is one of the last few monsters you will be seeing here. Now onto the spell cards. Signet Storm. All linked monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. Linked summons or linked monsters cannot be negated. Once per chain, if you take 2,000 or more battle or effect damage, you can shuffle the face down cards on your extra deck. Excavate the top card, and if it's a Cypress Link monster, special summon it. Otherwise, return it to the extra deck. So, you kind of got a little overpowered here. This is a pretty good card. Night Beam. I've heard of this one. I don't know what it is. Target one spell or trap card your opponent controls if it's set. Destroy that target. Your opponent cannot activate the targeted card in response to the card's activation. So this card's a little bit broken. Basically speaking, if your opponent has a set spell or trap card in their domain, they cannot activate it in response to when this thing activates its effect and targets that set card. Offerings to the Doom. Target one face-up monster on the field, destroy that target, also skip your next draw phase. Yeah. That's pretty good. Oh, we've got a Forbidden card too. Forbidden Chalice, and when I say that, I do not mean it of its card type. I mean it's actually forbidden. Target one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. Card gains 400 attack points, but its effects are negated. So this card is used a lot in the Xyz deck or Utopia deck. It would be used in Constellar, in the Constellar deck, but I don't think they'd use it as much. No, I don't think so. Scapegoat. This card is also very overpowered. When this card has been activated in your spell and trap zones, you can special summon 4 Scapegoat tokens onto the field. These monsters, these token monsters, cannot be tributed for tribute summon. So basically, they're lambs to the slaughter in that literal sense. However, there is a upside to this. You can use them as synchro material. So yeah, this card's pretty OP. Of course, I already have them, but it doesn't make them any less overpowered. Now this is the card I love. Swords of Revealing Light. This is not a forbidden spell card. It should be. Because when this card is activated, monsters your opponent controls cannot declare an attack, but you can. Face down monsters on the field are flipped face up and their effects are negated. This card lasts for 3 turns, meaning that when you're during your next opponent's end phase, that counts as 1 turn. That is very obnoxious. Oh, here's one I also have. Reasoning. Your opponent declares a monster level from 1 to 12. Excavate. Cards from the top of your deck until you excavate a monster that can be normal summoned or set. Then, if that monster is the same level as the one declared by your opponent, send all excavated cards to the graveyard. If not, special summon the excavated monster and send the remaining cards to the graveyard. So this is like gambling. Oh, Fires of Doomsday. You can summon Doomsday tokens onto the field in defense position. Can't be tributed for a tribute summon unless it's for a dark type monster. Not that good, all things considered, but can be used as a last resort for some of the monster cards. Can also be used for link monsters, I believe. 1-for-1's a very interesting form. This card allows you to This card allows you to discard 1 level 1 monster. Oh, send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard and special summon 1 level 1 monster from your deck. I thought that was something else because I saw this in a slime token deck. Merrick uses that. Terraforming just is a card that allows you to add a field spell card from your deck to your hand. There's nothing special about that. It's very common. Packet Link. During main phase 2, special summon any number of level 2 or lower monsters with different names from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only activate 1 Packet Link per turn. Meaning if this was used in a speed duel, you could special summon 3 level 2 or lower monsters from your graveyard, hand, or deck. If it was a master duel, this card would be quite a beast. Wild Tornado. Trap cards, by the way. Target 1 face-up spell or trap card in their respective zones. Destroy that face-up card, then its controller can set 1 or spell or trap card from their hand. If this set card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. Okay, for those of the weak-hearted and weak stomach, be careful what you're looking at here. Trap Trick's Trap Hole Nightmare. Basically for Trap Hole deck on Trap Tricks. When a monster that was special summoned this turn activates its effect on your opponent's field, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. Meaning, this monstrosity takes effect. I think this might be the most disturbing one. Blazing Mirror Force, one of the 4 Mirror Force monsters. Mirror Force trap cards. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy as many face attack position monsters your opponent controls as possible. And if you do, take damage to half the combined original attack of those monsters. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. Holy crap! You can destroy as many attack position monsters your opponent controls. Take damage equal to half of the combined attack points of all those attack position monsters, and then inflict just as much to your opponent. Basically, you can inflict a draw this way. This is a draw-based card, and it is very rare to get one of those. Trap Stun. Negate all other trap effects on the field this turn. Safe Zone. Oh, I know this card. Oh, I haven't seen this in a while, but I know what this is. By targeting one face-up attack position monster on the field, that face-up monster cannot be destroyed by battle or by the opponent's card effects. This opponent cannot target it with card effects, also cannot attack your opponent directly. Okay, when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. That monster leaves the field, destroy this card. It's a pretty good card. And I finally have this one. It's a good card. Call of the Haunted. Overpowered. This allows you to special summon one monster from your graveyard in attack position. And when this card is sent to the graveyard, destroy the monster special summon from the graveyard, and vice versa. Reckless Greed. Oh yeah, I remember this one. You can draw 2 cards instead of you can draw 2 cards but skip your next 2 draw phases. Basically, you can just, if you're desperate for cards, you can use this, but you will lose the ability to draw other cards during your draw phase. So yeah, there is a bit of Reckless Greed. Then there's Debunk, which is a quick spell, or a counter, I think. When a monster effect is activated in the hand or the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. See? And I believe these are the... Hang on. Ah, yes. I think I've missed 2 of these. Here's one more, I believe. Yeah, there it is. I think I've missed 2 of these. 2 Cyberus monsters, if you can believe it. Segmental Dragon. I think the only one I've seen so far that is level 7 is the ultra rare here, along with one other monster. You can normal summon this card, normal summon or set this card without tributing, but its original attack and defense becomes halved. Once per turn, if this card is normal summoned or set, the card is on the field. Quick effect, you can destroy this face-up card, and if you do, destroy all monsters in the main monster zones with attack less than or equal to that the attack of this card had on the zone. This guy's very interesting. Very interesting. Sea Archiver. Basically a unicorn and also one heck of a halo. If a monster is normal summoned or special summoned to a zone Link monster points to, which is, again, one of these fellows here. This guy right here. Notice the red arrows. You can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when that summon was resolved, or hand even if not, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use Sea Archiver once per turn. And now to the main meat of it. I mentioned that there were only 3 Link monsters on the field that I currently have. I have Traffic Ghost, which is a Cyberus Link monster that requires 3 monsters, which is a lot like Lan, what's his name here. You both see him. But now we have the main deal here. Now, just before you guys say that this is a bit unfair, bear in mind, it doesn't specify what monsters you need. It can be monsters of any level. Meaning if you had tokens or other types of monsters, you could just summon these two right out of the wide blue yonder and just have a powerhouse on the field. You can use them with scapegoats, the Eva tokens, all of them. And now finally, the only talker I have. This is from the Cybers deck. Basically it requires 3 monsters, but other talker monsters like Encode Talker, Xcode Talker, and Decode Talker require, I think, Cybers monsters as well. But this card is probably the strongest one in the current deck, and if I had others, I would probably use them. Now, this card is quite overpowered. This card gains 500 attack and defense for every monster. Let me read it. I've just recently got him. You can target one face-up monster on the field, negate that target's effect until the end of this turn. Once per turn, if this card battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, you contribute 1 monster this card points to, and then double this card's attack points, meaning it gains 4,600 attack. It's one heck of a Link 3 monster. And that is everything from the Vrains deck. This is what it is. And apparently, in speed duels, there are extra monster zones. Alright, so as of right now, I just spent like 40 minutes explaining 40 cards plus the 18 plus 23 other cards I have, explaining all of those. And then there's this. I'll be splitting this into 2 segments, and I will be talking about the other cards that I have from the OG deck from this Power Cube. It has a lot of cards in it, so it will take a while. So I'll be doing this some other time. As of right now, I'm going to yeet on out of here.